Innate immunity. If you had asked me what this was 4 months ago, I would have told you to leave me the alone because I was studying for a cell bio quiz. And also because I had no idea what it was at the time. But now, because I'm a competent immunology student, I can. Innate immunity, also called natural immunity or non-specific immunity, is a type of immunity that we were born with. It's also known as the first line of defense, mainly because it's able to quickly recognize and neutralize a huge range of threats, regardless of previous exposure. The innate immune system consists of physical or chemical barriers such as skin, hair, mucus, or gastrointestinal juices. However, looking at a microscopic level, the innate immune system also consists of different types of white blood cells, such as monocytes, lymphocytes, neutrophils, eosinophils, basophils, and macrophages. Caspases are also used in innate immunity. It either occurs intrinsically or extrinsically, but the end result of caspase activation is a cascade of reactions that leads to inflammation or apoptosis. But I'll get back to caspases in a minute. But first I want to talk about influenza. Otherwise known as the flu, influenza is a contagious respiratory illness caused by the influenza viruses that affect the nose, throat, and sometimes the lungs. It can cause mild to severe illness and at times can lead to death. Just last fall, millions of US residents were diagnosed with the flu, and nearly 3,000 deaths were recorded. Most cases of flu diagnosis was from the influenza A virus strand, which is known to be more common in adults and is also the most severe. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention, or CDC, recorded data from 2022 that ultimately showed the spread of flu to be very high across the nation. States like Arkansas, California, Colorado, Kentucky, Mississippi, New Mexico, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Virginia, and Washington were among the highest in the USA, and major cities like New York City and Washington, D.C. were also high in comparison too. So as you can see, flu season ain't no joke. But what does the flu have to do with the previously mentioned caspases? Well, in 2020, a research team discovered that one of our caspases plays an essential role in defense against the influenza A virus strand. And this caspase is known as caspase 6. Caspase 6 is normally an apoptotic effector caspase that plays a role in early immune responses. This is typically done by reducing the expression of interleukin 10 to activate enzymes for apoptosis. So in this research, in order to test the role of caspase 6, they used CRISPR gene editing to knock out caspase 6 in mouse embryonic fibroblasts. Then they observed the levels of cell death following influenza A virus, or IAV, injection. They would then compare the findings with wild-type mice with caspase 6 fully intact. They had collected the results 24 hours after the IAV infection, and what they had found was that after the 24 hours, wild-type mice had higher levels of apoptosis compared to mice who had lacked this caspase 6 gene. And in this image, the cell death is denoted by the red dots that you see on the bottom row. Next, they then wanted to test how well caspase 6 contributes to the protection against IAV. They injected 50 plaque-forming units of IAV into the mice and recorded the findings after another 24 hours. And from this, they discovered that mice who lacked caspase 6 had a lower body weight, a lower survival rate, and higher susceptibility to lung damage. Yikes. Overall, these results indicated that caspase 6 is directly involved in host defense against IAV infection, and loss of caspase 6 will ultimately impair viral clearance and increase susceptibility to getting sick. Nonetheless, even though our immune system is able to fight against diseases, certain defects or mutations can prevent immunity, as seen with the role of caspase 6 with influenza. That's why it's important to be up to date with vaccines to help strengthen your immune system. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you learned something about immunology and the innate immune system. And I obviously have some sources, and you can find them on the screen right here. And that just about pretty much wraps up my video presentation. So, in conclusion, stay the f*** out of Texas during flu season.